Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview, July 14th, 2015 on a Tuesday. Traders, great to be with you. Yes, I did have the day off yesterday and it was wonderful. Traders, remember this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, if you get an opportunity, come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. What a great website, a lot of information, a lot of education, a lot of opportunities. Check it out. Traders, got a lot to talk about today. Got 6 currency pairs to talk about some news, and yes, I will mention the Greece deal. We'll talk about that a little bit. So let's get started. Let's not waste no time. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Guild. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006 and 2008. I retired from a wonderful 27-year career out of the Fire Rescue Department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday back in 2008 after I retired 9 days later, and guess what, traders? I am still in Thailand. Absolutely having a great time, loving living in Asia. Asia is a great place to retire. Having a super time. I do trade the Forex markets every single trading day. I am always looking for opportunities and probabilities that are on my side to be successful in my trading. Traders, I do not win every trade. If somebody tells you that, please run the other way. So let's get the risk disclaimer out of the way. You know, we're going to do the legal stuff, and Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's hit it. News and commentary. What happened at the close of the New York session? Wow, I'm seeing a lot of green. The US 30 closed up 1.22%. The S&P 500 closed up 1.11%. The NASDAQ closed up 1.48%. Wow, nice stuff. And the only one in the red actually was the VIX. S&P 500 VIX was negative 17.41%. Let's head on over to the Eurozone, where the DAX closed in the green at 1.49%. The FTSE 100 also in the green at 0.97%, with the CAC 40 out of Paris in the green at 1.94%. And the Eurostock 50 out of Frankfurt was in the green at 1.75%. Traders, let's head on over to Asia. Let's talk about the Asian markets. Remember that these countries are currently trading in the Nikkei 225 out of Tokyo was up 1.50%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is up 1.65%. The Shanghai is in the red at negative 0.04%. And the Hang Seng is also in the red at negative 0.46%. And the Kospi out of Seoul is in the red at negative 0.11%. Sort of mixed there in the Asian markets as we start our trading day. Well, it started about 4 hours ago. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Let's take a look at our economic calendar. What we have, we do have some data today that we should be aware of and pay attention to. So we had some NAB business confidence that came out. There was no forecast, but prior was 7, and it came out as 11. So it was a good number for the Aussie. So the Aussie did make a bump up. Remember, today is a French bank holiday. Shouldn't affect our trading at all. Into the London session, the Great British Pound has CPI year on year. Also in the London session, the Euro has its German zoo economic sentiment today. And also out of the Great British Pound, we have the inflation report hearings. Now, that's a new one on me, so I have no idea how the market will react to that. Going into the New York session, we have Bank of England Governor Carney is speaking today. The U.S. has core retail sales month on month, and regular retail sales month on month comes out today. So quite a busy day as far as our economic calendar. Should keep the currency pairs moving, and that's what we like to see and hear. Let's just chat a little bit about what's going on. I did have the day off yesterday, so I'm sort of like out of tune a little bit today. Not in it as much. I was not in New York. I actually never even turned my computer on. I was not in. I was celebrating my birthday this weekend. So, I did read an article this morning in our local newspaper, the Bangkok Post, and I read the article on Greece's deal. I got to be honest with you, I quite don't understand it. It's interesting. I think somebody in my live trading room today mentioned that probably the biggest fear I had was, well, what happens in 3 years or 2 years? Are we going to be back in the same situation? And one of our traders said no, that he had looked into that, and the creditors will have representatives that will now be living in Greece, and they will keep tabs on the austerity measures that were brought up and the changes. So basically, the referendum that they all voted no for was a waste of time because they did it anyhow. I don't know how the Prime Minister Tepris is going to go back to his country and say, well, had to do what we had to do, but we got to get these banks open and get this country running again. So it's going to be an interesting thing. I guess it goes to Parliament on 24 hours from now. On Wednesday, it goes to Parliament for a vote in Greece, which I'm sure it's going to pass. I'm sure they took a vote over the phone and made sure everybody was on board with it. The country's got to get back moving. They don't have a choice. They need the bailout. They got to get their banks open, and people need their money. Charts are starting to come back to normal, but they're not quite there yet. As you'll see, we have some charts that are pretty much all over the place. Some trades are going to be pretty difficult to get into today. Some easy ones and some hard ones. So we'll take a look at that. So that's all I really have on commentary today, and I'm just hoping that we can get back to normal and we can do some trading. Let's get back to some normalcy, if there is such a thing in Forex trading. But I'm glad this Greece situation is coming to an end, and we don't have to be on our eggshells every time we enter a trade. All right, we're going to take a look at some 60-minute Forex charts, and as usual, we're going to start with the euro dollar, and remember, each candle on the chart is a 60-minute candle, so it's a 1 hour candle. All right, very interesting chart here. I put a Fibonacci tool on the chart. I also marked where the 200 exponential moving average is. I want this to pull back up to this 23.6 fib at 1034, and we can take it down to 0937. So it's a nice trade if it works. I'm not going to sell it here. I'm not going to sell at support. Even if it broke support and came back up to that level and came back down, the daily S1 is too close. You don't have enough pips there. You got like 20 pips there to get into that trade. So it needs to give us some kind of a pullback. And the minimal pullback, of course, is that 1034 area. I'd love for this thing to come all the way back up to that 200 exponential moving average at 1060 and take that pair and take it down. That'd be a nice trade too. But I think the euro is back to being bearish, and I think we can get a trade today. It looks like a really good day for the euro. So I think this is going to work out just fine for us. All right, let's move over to the pound. Pound is bullish, believe it or not. Yes, the pound is bullish. So we're really in a sweet spot here. The big issue here, though, is we have a 200 exponential moving average at 55.07, and right above that we have a daily pivot point. So we need a pullback. We need this to come back to this 50% fib at 54.68 to give us some room to work with. We want to get break even before we get into this 200 exponential moving average and that daily pivot point, because it's going to bounce there. If you look left of the chart, that's a pretty ugly looking, lots of Forex junk there. So we want to make sure that we get ourselves in position. So we do want to pull back to this 54.68 area, and we can continue on and take a move. And I think that'll just work out just fine. Now, there's 3 pieces of data that's coming out with the Great British Pound today. So hopefully that'll give us some good price action. All right, let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, ugly, to be honest with you. It is bearish, but it needs a heck of a big pullback before I would enter this pair. we're close to support at 73.75. That's our take profit area. This needs to get up past the daily pivot point, and as you can see, the blue candle was the news candle, and it's already on its way, but it's sideways. So now it's inactive time in Asia, so there's no data coming out. So we have 4 hours till the London Open. So this is probably going to go sideways for 4 hours. So this Aussie trade looks like this might either be a late London, maybe London lunch or just before London lunch trade, or a New York Open trade. So it's going to be interesting to watch, but definitely don't want to sell it from here. We needed that pullback to that 74.55 area, and I think we'll have a nice trade to the downside. Yes, I am bearish. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. Especially if you open this chart up completely, you'll see that this is in an uptrend, and we're in a perfect spot right at the moment to take our trade. However, it's a terrible time of day, so we're just going to wait for like 2 hours before the London Open. I'll check my charts, see if we can get a bullish candlestick and take this to the upside. We are going to get a bounce at the daily pivot, and we can expect that. If you look left of the chart, you can see we got some stuff, we got some previous support and resistance areas there. So we're going to get a bounce at this daily pivot, which is fine, but I think the trade plan can work. Listen, if this comes all the way back down to the daily S1 or the 200 exponential moving average, don't worry about it. Just wait for the bullish candlestick and take it up. Take the ride to the upside. So I think this is going to work out just fine. I think this is really going to be a fine trade right here. All right, let's take a look at the yen pairs, the euro yen. Again, this is bullish. So again, we're really at a sweet spot to take this trade. I put the entry at 135.44, which is where the 200 EMA is, and I'd like to see this come down just a notch. And you know what? Let's take advantage of the 200, take a bounce off of that, and then we can enter this to the long side, take the buy entry from there. Well, we'll see what happens, like I said, about an hour and a half, 2 hours before London Open. I'll take a look at my charts and see what it looks like, if we got an entry or not. It looks like a good trade. It looks like it's done the fib of the swing, and it looks like it's ready to head back up. So pretty excited about this trade. I think this trade's going to work. All right, let's head on over to our New Zealand dollar. Quite an ugly chart, I would have to say. However, we are bearish in this chart. All I want to do is sell this. So I gave you two areas where we can sell this from. If this comes up to the 200 exponential moving average at 6,700, we are going to sell it because we know we're going to get a bounce there. And we'll take this down, and what's right above it? The daily pivot point. So there's two reasons why we want this to pull back all the way back up. Or at the London Open, or an hour and a half, 2 hours before the London Open, if we have a bearish engulfing candle, nice big red candle, and we get a second one, that would be our entry. I'm going to take this down to the daily support 2 line, the DS2 pivot, and that's at 66.35. I think that's a really great trade. I think this really has a lot of potential. We just need some price action, and we're not going to see that for at least another 3 hours. And that wraps up our 6 currency pairs, traders. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilda, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you for joining me on a Tuesday, July 14th, 2015. Traders, please come and visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, have a great day, and always remember to trade smart and not hard. Traders, till next time.